All right, let's just dive right in. Today, we're tackling a question, a huge one, that could completely unravel everything you think you know about your world, your life, your very existence. What if I told you that reality isn't actually real? We're going to start with a pretty reality-shattering idea. And look, this isn't some new age concept. It's a question that philosophers have been wrestling with for centuries. The difference is, now, modern science is actually being forced to consider it. And I mean everything. Your memories, the people you love, the solid ground beneath your feet. What if it was all just an elaborate fabrication, an illusion? Just let that sink in for a moment. So, to even begin to wrap our heads around how this could be possible, we need to shift our perspective. Like, completely. Let's stop thinking about reality in terms of biology and chemistry for a sec and start thinking about it as information, as code. Think about the most realistic video game you've ever played, okay? Now imagine a version of that game that's so advanced, so complex, that the characters inside it actually become conscious. They believe they're real. How would they ever know they weren't? From the sky above your head to the very screen you're looking at right now, it could all just be rendered graphics generated in real time just for your perception. And the people around you, your family, your friends, they could be other conscious players in this game. Or they could just be NPCs, non-player characters, just really sophisticated programs running on a script. Which means your entire physical reality, right down to the very feeling of your hand touching a wall, it could be nothing more than an incredibly sophisticated set of instructions, just lines of code running on some kind of cosmic computer. Now, this isn't just a thought experiment from a sci-fi movie. This whole mind-bending idea, it has a formal name, and it's moved way beyond the pages of fiction and into the halls of serious academic debate. And that name is the simulation theory. At its core, it's the idea that our universe isn't base reality. Nope. Instead, we exist inside an artificial world, one that's being simulated by a far, far more advanced intelligence. So yeah, this theory basically frames our entire existence as a kind of grand experiment, or maybe even just a game, being run by creators so advanced we literally can't even imagine them. I know what you're thinking. This sounds absolutely crazy. But here's the unsettling part. There are some serious, logical arguments for why this might actually be true. And we're not talking about fringe ideas here. We're talking about really respected thinkers, from Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom to tech guys like Elon Musk. They're all entertaining this as a genuine possibility. The logic is just so compelling. They argue we can't, and maybe shouldn't, rule it out. So what is this argument that's so compelling? What's the single biggest observation about our own world that makes the whole simulation theory so plausible? This right here, this is the key. Just look at our own technological progress. 50 years ago, we had Pong, 2 rectangles and a dot. Today, we have photorealistic virtual reality that can literally trick our brains. So just project that rate of progress forward, 1,000 years or 1,000,000. Eventually, any advanced civilization will almost certainly be able to create countless simulated realities. And if that's true, there will be billions of simulated worlds for every one base reality. So, statistically speaking, where do you think we are? This line of reasoning leads us right down a rabbit hole to a final and kind of chilling question that completely changes the focus of the whole debate. Because if you accept the logic that countless simulated realities will eventually be created, then the odds suggest it's almost a certainty that we are in one. So the real question isn't if we're in a simulation. The real question is something else entirely. If our world is a program, who wrote the code? If our lives are some kind of game, who are the players? And maybe most importantly, what do they want from us? That is the question we'll leave you with.